How's it going, everybody? I'm the Big Guy. Welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We're going to start you off with the news of the week, followed by a Raw and Smackdown review. And then, of course, we will have a review of a classic Survivor Series. Then your Survivor Series predictions for this Sunday at the Barclays Center. And then we will have your WWE Drink of the Week, followed by a reading from the Book of Rules. And finally, we will have the Battle Droid of the Week. So let's get right into it with the news. Zack Ryder has said he will not return to WWE unless he is being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, I don't know if this is just a shoot of Zack Ryder just trying to gain some heat as his new heel persona. I don't know. I think it probably is that. I think Zack Ryder is just trying to just be a heel right now on the independent scene. He has said he will not return unless he is inducted. He has said he has had one of the greatest WrestleMania moments ever when he won the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 32. Again, I don't know if he deserves a Hall of Fame introduction, but he is very close to it. The way he got over with the crowd, people really did love him. And, you know, with the way we're putting in a bunch of different people like Honky Tonk Man and everything, you know, I could see him going in. I could see maybe him entering the Hall of Fame. I could see it. But it's going to take a few years, so he won't be back then for a while. And also, is WWE planning a huge match between Sasha Banks and Trish Stratus? That is the talk, as Sasha Banks has already said this is going to be one of the greatest matches ever. Maybe it will take place at WrestleMania 38 in Dallas in front of the huge crowd on either night 1 or 2 of WrestleMania. We do not know yet, but apparently it has been all but finished. That is at least what Sasha Banks thinks. Sasha Banks truly believes that this match will happen. So, I would love to see that match. I think it would be a great match between them. And it's one I was looking forward to. I would look forward to that match. And finally, in your final story this week, 2 wrestlers were injured at AEW's Full Gear. Apparently, the 2 wrestlers that were injured were Eddie Kingston and Malachi Black. They are scheduled to appear in New York, but they did not appear. The reason that given is that they both sustained injuries at Full Gear. There really has been no other information on this story, and we'll try. Apparently, everybody's going to try and keep you updated. Check WrestleVotes, check all that crap while you're waiting to hear. But apparently, yes, they were injured. And it sucks because these are 2 of the best wrestlers right now in the game. A. Kingston, someone who I truly love, and Malachi Black, who is very over with the AEW crowd. And it just sucks to see him get injured in my opinion, a lackluster match with Cody Rhodes and Pac. It just sucked to see that. So, that is your news for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go on to your Smackdown review from this week. Smackdown kicked off with Sonya Deville introducing the Women's Smackdown Survivor Series team with Sasha Banks, Aaliyah. Let me make sure I'm reading this right. Sasha Banks, Aaliyah, Shayna Baszler, Natalya, and Shotzi. These 5 women would be on the Survivor Series team, and Naomi would come out and ask Sonya Deville why she is not on the Survivor Series team. Sonya Deville would say, "You haven't proven yourself at all to me or to anyone else." And she would then attack Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler would then fight her off. It would lead to a heel versus face 6-woman tag team match, which the faces would win, and it would actually be Aaliyah picking up the win in her SmackDown debut. She would be celebrating backstage when Sonya Deville would come out and would say, "You are no longer on the Survivor Series team because you are friends with Naomi." This would kind of piss off a lot of the crowd. Everybody, you know, this is why I love Pat McAfee. It's because even though he's not a face, he's not a heel, he still can identify, okay, this person's fucking up here, this person's fucking up there. And that's something you really don't see with heel or face announcers. That is something you really truly see just a heel saying, "Oh yeah, they're right for doing this." And that's why I hate heel announcers. Like, I'm not a Corey Graves fan. He is a great announcer, don't get me wrong. And he has talked about returning to the ring, and I would be a complete fan of that if it means no more heel announcers on Raw. I would love to see Corey Graves return to the ring so that way we have no more heel announcers, even though he kind of did make a reference to Wrestling Made Simple when he was saying this would be a banger of a match on Monday Night Raw, and I kind of love that. I was like, I don't know if that's a reference to me, but if it is, then I might be giving myself a little too much credence. But you know what? I'm going to take it with a grain of salt and just be happy for me for a second. I may have made it out to Monday Night Raw. Yay! After this, we got Jeff Hardy causing Sami Zayn trying to talking to himself in the mirror, saying Sami Zayn is the head of Team Smackdown. He is really the one to lead Team Smackdown into the future and going to lead them into the win. And as the captain, he will lead Team Smackdown. After this, we got Los Lotharios versus Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. In a tag team match, Los Lotharios would pick up the win after some heel shenanigans, They would attack Rick Boogs on the outside, throwing him into the ring post. Shinsuke Nakamura would be set up to hit the Kinshasa on Humberto, but Angel would pull him out from the ring and would save him from the Kinshasa. They would then attack Shinsuke, would pick up the win, and Los Lotharios is victorious over the Intercontinental Champion. Just want to say that, by the way. A tag team who is right now not in the tag team championship picture picked up a win against one of the most important championships in WWE in the Intercontinental Champion. Just saying. It's very clear they have not pushed Shinsuke right, and I wish they would push him better. After this, we got Adam Pearce announcing that Jeff Hardy and Sami Zayn will take place, and the loser will be removed from the SmackDown Survivor Series team. During this, Von Wagner appeared during the segment with Adam Pearce. I guess he is Adam Pearce's new muscle on SmackDown. He hasn't appeared on Raw this week, but he did appear on SmackDown, so I guess Adam Pearce needs some security. After this, we got a SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair promo addressing Becky Lynch, saying there's nothing natural about Becky. Her hair is fabricated, her promos are fabricated, she's had to change herself so many times, while Charlotte Flair has always just been Charlotte Flair, which is very funny coming from Charlotte Flair after all the promos we got of Becky Lynch saying, I took a week off for a broken nose and you took over 2 months off for your fake tits. So it's very funny to hear Charlotte Flair saying there's nothing natural about Becky Lynch. That just makes me laugh. After this, Toni Storm came out and said she wants a shot at the Women's Championship, but Charlotte declined. Good on SmackDown and Raw for pushing Liv Morgan and SmackDown for pushing Toni Storm. I don't see them winning the titles from Charlotte or Becky, but I do see them being viable challengers right now. Maybe in the future they take the titles off of them, but not yet. That would be awesome to see for Toni Storm to challenge Charlotte Flair. After this, we got Jeff Hardy versus Sami Zayn. Jeff Hardy would pick up the win after he rolled up Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is no longer on the Men's Survivor Series team, and we now have an absence on the Men's Survivor Series team and the Women's Survivor Series team for SmackDown. So 4 have been announced, but there are still 1 spot missing. So I'm kind of excited to see who they'll replace Sami Zayn with. I hope it's Ricochet. I could see Ricochet replacing Sami Zayn and For the Women's Survivor Series team, maybe they replace her either with Sonya Deville or Toni Storm. I could see either one of those. I think those would be good replacements. I don't think they replace her with Naomi because they want to keep building the Sonya Deville feud. So I don't think they replace Naomi. They replace her with Naomi yet. After this, we got Hit Row rapping backstage about Jinder Mahal and Shanky, and they would basically try to cut a rap promo against Jinder Mahal and Shanky. Jinder Mahal would say, "This is Slim Shanky" instead of Slim Shady, and I kind of laughed at that. I've always been an Eminem fan, so that was cool. When they had Seth Rollins doing that, he would cut a couple promos where he would sound like Eminem, and he would even do the "Guess Who's Back, Sethy's Back" on Raw. I loved that. I thought that was hilarious, and now that they have Slim Shanky, I thought that was hilarious. So they called them Skid Row, not Hit Row, and this will lead to a match between them, hopefully later down the road. A lot of promos this week after this. Ridge Holland cut a promo saying he's excited to be on SmackDown to follow in the footsteps of Sheamus. And Cesaro interrupted him and told Ridge that he knows Sheamus very well and Ridge better be careful. Ridge then claimed Sheamus he'll be a better tag team partner as Sheamus than the Bar ever was, and they had a stare down. And then after this, we got your main event with Xavier Woods versus the Universal Champion Roman Reigns. If Roman Reigns lost, then he would have to bow to King Woods. And if Xavier lost, he would have to bow to Roman Reigns. If Roman Reigns didn't bend the knee, then he would be stripped of the Universal Championship. I thought that was a very cool little thing. You had Paul Heyman, the wise man, as Roman Reigns now calls him, telling this to Caleb Braxton backstage, and Roman Reigns kind of insinuating that Caleb Braxton likes Paul Heyman in more than just a work way, I will call it. I think that's pretty funny. I think that is a funny little joke. It's not true, but it would be hilarious. They had a very good match. You know, they put on a great main event, and as Kofi Kingston would not be ringside due to last week's attack by the Bloodline, and you would have Xavier Woods go to hit his finisher, which I can't remember if it's a Walk in the Woods or the Midnight Hour. I can't remember what it's called right now. It'll come to me later. He would hit his finisher, but as he was going to cover him, the Usos pulled him out of the ring and attacked him, and this would cause the DQ. Roman would then bend the knee, not to Xavier, just to in the ring alone, and they would crown Roman Reigns the champion, the king of WWE. They would take Xavier's crown and crown him champion. And there have been a lot of memes coming out about this, and it's very funny. Of when you go Burger King drunk at 3 a.m. and they put the crown on you. I thought that was hilarious. It's been very funny. So look out for the memes of this. It's hilarious in my opinion. And that was your SmackDown review. It was a very good